The pleasant hamlet Babytown and quiet town of Babyville were situated very close and separated by a hill. The babies of both town and ville had lots of things to do, like giggling, bawling, sleeping, crawling, playing peekaboo, plus pooping, burping, dribbling, slurping, just as babies will. So passed their days the folks of Babytown and Babyville. The grand pooh-bah of Babyville and B-Town's generalissimo were hard at work from morn till evening maintaining the status quo. They ordered diapers, baby clothes for tiny girls and boys, pureed bananas, formula, and lots of plushy toys. They scheduled bathings, nap times, and of course some time for play, and issued simple orders even babies could obey. Relations twixt the two towns' heads were cordial, only rarely. Most of the time they'd merely tolerate each other, barely. The General's bulk procurements caused delivery delays that left Babyville diaperless on far too many days. The Pooh-Bah filled his protest screeds with language so ill-chosen that diplomatic channels between the burgs were often frozen. Yet, long as both men kept their broods on their side of the hill, a fragile peace endured between B-Town and Babyville. A gala celebration to commemorate its founding was held in Babyville's town square and areas surrounding. A marching band of babies banged on drums and blew kazoos. Miss Babyville was honoured with bronze-plated baby shoes. 100 helium balloons were sent into the air, a brightly coloured spectacle that rose above the square. A red one caught a zephyr and was carried o'er the hill, bearing a bold insignia that said simply, Babyville. As helium diminished, the balloon began to fall. It bopped and bobbled down the hill and bumped into a wall. It seemed content to stay there till a passing gust of air provided one last flight across the wall and left it there. Ensconced in Babytown, it didn't take long for the toy to catch the eyes and interests of a chubby baby boy, who picked it up and mouthed it, squeezed it, rolled it to and fro, then left it at the doorstep of the Generalissimo. "What's this?" the General bellowed as his voice began to rise. "They've claimed our land! Why, I see it, here, before my eyes! They've gone too far! This will not stand!" And firm in his decision, he quickly penned a missive filled with taunts, threats, and derision. When it arrived in Babyville, the gala had just ended. The Grand Pooh-Bah received it and was massively offended. "Oh, it's war he wants, eh? Well, by God, he'll have it then and soon. I've put up far too long now with this muscle-headed goon." The babies gathered in the squares of Babyville and Babytown, and from high podiums both towns' leaders to their people shouted down, "I didn't want to choose this option. I've been forced into it. Sometimes a leader's task is hard, but he must not eschew it. Our destiny stands at our door. We must be bold, not fear it." Both speeches were identical in wording, tone, and spirit. And thence the babies of each town were ushered to a stall where weaponry long held in store was handed to them all. The babies, rather lost as to the use of sword and shield, toddled behind their leaders and converged upon a field. The two armies faced off, and, to prepare for the attack, both leaders dropped behind to issue orders from the back. "Take heart, my children," both men shouted. "Glory will be yours, for history's tale is one of heroes, victories, and wars." Each diapered soldier steady as the moment would allow, clung to the silence, broken by a fiercely bellowed, "Now!" Then all was bedlam. Rushing forth in answer to the call, the babies fell fast upon each other like a sudden squall. Innocents until then, having never hurt a fly, their lives now held two options: fight or falter, kill or die. And so they fought, their trusted leaders seeming not to care that babies screamed in agony and blood was everywhere. And by the time the yellow dawn gave way to drizzling rain, 100 babes were fallen, dozens wounded, dozens slain. But still their leaders urged them toward the centre of the field. "We've nearly won! Keep going! Don't surrender! Never yield!" And then, before they knew it, they were standing nose to nose. The two men glared and strove to strike a frightening warrior's pose. But shaky knees and pounding hearts belied their staged temerity. The general, having been exposed, proclaimed with all sincerity, "I say we end this war." The Pooh-Bah nodded his assent, and each man gave the ceasefire order to his regiment, and with determined voices told the babies, horrified, the war had been a just one, and its martyrs glorified. The fallen ones were carried back, graves dug, and wounds attended, and scars formed o'er the inner wounds that never would be mended. In Babyville, a statue was erected in the square, while B-Town's war memorial can be seen from everywhere. In speeches spun to render as a dream the pain of war, the leaders reassured the townsfolk there would be no more. It said, the wind sounds like the cries of babes high on the hill that cast dark shadows over Babytown and Babyville.